Hello, everyone, and welcome to ASU ACHA Hockey YouTube's presentation of ACHA Division I Men's Ice Hockey. I'm Brett Vaughn as the Sun Devils play host to the first of two games with the visiting University of Utah Utes coming into Tempe. With the Sun Devils, they've had a nice little week off after a fierce battle against the rivals down south, splitting a pair of games at Mold Arena, and really impressed by Arizona State how they're able to really come back after a tough loss on their first game to come back, win it in overtime. And I think when I was talking about it with my partner now, Cooper, on the call, we were really impressed by their resiliency for a whole 60 minutes. And so I'm expecting Arizona State to come out that same effort against a good Utah Utes team. They're a top 15 team. They've been on the rise the last couple of years. And Morgan Geekie has this Utes team rolling. And so it's going to be a good test for Arizona State here tonight. And folks, we'll bring you live first period action just under a couple minutes with national anthems and starting lineups. This is Arizona State ACHA Hockey YouTube.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening once again, and welcome to the Mountain America Community Ice Blast, home of your Arizona State Sun Devils. Tonight, your Sun Devils open a two-game set against the Utah Utes. If you have your pencils and scorecards ready, if you use pencils and scorecards, here's the starting lineups for tonight's game. First for the visiting Utah Utes, and coached by Morgan Peavy. At left defense, number 21, Matthew Delaney. At right defense, number 26, Jake Larilla. At left wing, number 7, Oliver Kraft. At center, number 20, Tyler Senegal. At right wing, number 24, Gavin Barr. And in goal, number 32, Garrett Fuller. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for your Sun Devils. At left defense, from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, number 4, Kane Olsen. At right defense, from Gilbert, Arizona, number 27, Keaton Tonius. At left wing, from Gilbert, Arizona, number 97, Carter Newland. At center, from Edmonton, Alberta, number 91, Matt Keeler. Number 93, Hunter Friesen. Fans, at this time, we'd ask you to please rise if you are able. Kindly remove your caps and join us as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
And we welcome you back here inside the Mountain America Community Iceplex. I'm Brett Vaughn, and also we hopping on the mic periodically will be the one and only Dr. Ben Smith for our starting goaltenders tonight. For the visiting Utah Utes, it'll be the junior number 32, Garrett Fuller. Fuller, with a 7-5 record, has been the predominant starter this season for Utah. And in between the pipe for the Sun Devils, it'll be the sophomore, number 31, Nathaniel Glenn. And he won his last time out against University of Arizona, winning in that thriller of an OT winner. Sun Devils chomping at the bit. They've had a week off, and they're raring to go here, as this is their second to last homestand of the regular season. And they want to start this weekend off on a good note. Matt Keeler is the starting centerman for the Sun Devils. He's really come on in the second half of the season. Utah wins the opening draw, and they'll chip it in. Keaton Tonez looks behind his right shoulder over to Kate Olson. Hunter Friesen will chop that puck down in the corner. Playing with it, there's Ethan Noonan sitting up behind his net for Utah as they break it out. Ooh, and Keeler makes some contact with Stu Nagel. And some physicality already starting early in this one. Carter Newland wheels out of his own zone with some speed. Dangles in. Puck played behind the net. Comes around in the corner. Utah gets a fortuitous bounce. They're able to break it out. Ryan Martin doing a great job of just the man, as he does not allow Waldhauser to get through. Ripley Garden can advance the puck past the center ice line, and Colton Johnson will have to slow it down. Nicholas Shaw, cross corner dumped in. Marchant will intercept it. Tough pass for Luke Chase. And he'll have to play the body and get some help from his centerman Gross. Puck knocked down. Utes dropping at it, trying to get it to the net. And it gets settled down by an Arizona State player, Butler. Butler chips it around one, trying to center that one for King. Unsuccessful. Danilo Sobasky, nice headman pass to King, and he was trying to find Ben Chase on the right side, but he couldn't get a good handle on it. Utah dumps it in again. And on the forecheck. Cruz check. Ben Chase in there trying to help Sobasky out of the corner. To the point, the shot, punched away by Glenn. Senior Carson Cooch gets taken down. Played by Anthony White. And sealed by Sandberg momentarily. But that allows the Sun Devils to dump it back in. Sun Devils try to finish off a change. Unable to keep that successful forward check sustaining. And Schwab ends up putting himself offside.
What a replay here. This was that impact that we saw earlier.
Yeah, we did. Really not too many dangerous chances for either team early in this game. Just a lot of forward checking. I think both teams are trying to find their way into this one.
It's not as physical as I'm used to seeing the Sun Devils.
Yeah, and I think it really started with their games against the University of Arizona a couple weeks ago. It seemed to me they were really willing to be more aggressive, especially on the forward check, and try and dictate play against their opponent. We'll see if it'll continue. Utes come in with it. They'll rim it back around. Butler reads the play, and they'll chip it to Gross. Gross forced to dump it in on Fuller, and Fuller will let it go. Chip by Skies. Oh, big hit there by Tonez, setting the tone. That was a hard check on Hughie Denema.
I think they were listening.
Butler coming back in. Sun Devils trying to finish off a change. Luke Chase is able to pinch in and seal the wall. And it'll get played by Owen Cross. Cross in his 8th game of the year. Out there for the Sun Devils. He centers that one in front on the goaltender Fuller. Makes a stop. Utes will skate out with it. It'll be Ripley Garden. He'll eat a check that time from Cross. Utes center that one in front of the goaltender Glenn, but will miss wide and be a free breakout for the Sun Devils. Glenn's able to stop it behind his net, allows Anthony White to pick it up, but it's a miscommunication. They turn it over. Point shot on, that gets blocked, still loose in front, and good job by Marchand to clear it to the corner. Another wrist shot on by the Utes, that'll miss wide. Senden will turn it over to Marchand. That allows White to clear his lines, and he'll go for the cross corner chip and go for a change. So this guy can't keep it in. They'll dump it down as we have just passed the 5-minute mark in this first period. No score. Friesen up to the point to White. White looking for the redirection that just misses connecting. Glenn leaves it for Friesen. Friesen sidesteps the check, but he gets taken down. White, good interception. That allows the Sun Devils to break. It's an odd man rush. White, 2-on-1. White still with it. Wrist shot on, and that misses wide. Best chance for the Sun Devils so far. And Fuller will elect to stop it with 14:20 left in this first period.
Here's that drive earlier.
Yeah, it was a great interception by White, and he had looked to be Friesen backdoor. He ended up electing to go for the shot. And that's one of those tough plays if you're the coaching staff here in the state to see a great opportunity and not really be a threat to the Utah netminder.
Well, I'm seeing both teams started off pretty slow. I'm seeing the physicality pick up a little bit.
One to the corner. It's another tough check being thrown by Ben Chase, but to no avail as the Utes will step out with it. Olsen, good play. That allows to get up to Chase. Tonez will try to help that one along. It'll work. Fuller can't stop it behind his net. Trevor Kennedy cycles it down low. Olsen pinching in. But he ends up blowing a tire, and the Utes come back in the offensive zone. This shot blocked by Butler. Took a weird ricochet behind the net, and Glenn was there on his post to stop it.
Solid defensive play.
Butler trying to buy some time as the rest of the Sun Devils come off the bench. Luke Chase, wrist shot on. That blocked it away. Another shot on by Marchand, and Fuller will close the leg pads and get a whistle. And I think, too, Ben, with that physicality, it really helps you as a team, especially if you're starting a little bit sluggish, to get into a rhythm.
Yeah, they certainly are now. You look at the shots on net. Sun Devils are doing well there.
Sun Devils have to touch up as Butler will skate across the blue line. Johnson. Fakes coming out of his net, and he'll finally skate it out. And that redirection play gets a lucky bounce to Utah as that wrist shot that time from Sykes gets redirected up and out of play.
Was that one deflected off a stick?
See the replay here. That's what it looked like as Ty Marchand using his left-handed stick to redirect that one.
Yeah, it didn't look like it even made it to Glenn. Yeah. Again, great defensive plays.
Luke Chase trying to find it. He'll make a tape-to-tape pass to Mark Descharme. Trying to get that one back from Cross. So play behind the net. Luke Chase. Sun Devils being really aggressive on the defensive end of pinching in, really trying to apply the pressure and stick it to Utah. Cross can't poke the puck away. Centered out from the corner, and Glenn will make the stop. And maybe outside of that Arizona chance earlier in the game, it's been tough for both teams to come in with a lot of speed off the rush, as they've been having to force a chip in and not allowing to have really any usage of their speed to attack one another so far.
Now, how did these two teams have met already this year?
I believe so, yes. I believe Arizona State did meet down in Salt Lake City in the first semester. So come in with it. Carson Cooch still with it. He scores! One for the picture book, as it was a beautiful toe drag around the defender, and Cooch, looking like a 30-goal scorer, gets his first goal of the season.
There's that toe drag, and right between the leg and the blocker, the glove.
And he even pops the water bottle for good measure. That's how you know it was a good shot. And Cooch gets his first goal of the year and showing off some skill. Normally known for his forechecking prowess, that time showing off his scoring touch.
I love the bottle pop.
Friesen was able to do a good job on the back check, and will dump it back in. Descharme on the forecheck. White forces Utah to go back in their own zone. He'll intercept it again. And finally gets cleared up by the Utes. They're hustling. Could be a 2-on-1. Snapshot on from Waldhauser, and Glenn. Nice stop. Of good positioning, not allowing a rebound.
Side, right side, both work.
Luke Chase trying to chip it out in the second effort play. And Butler can't clear it out. Waldhauser will find his defenseman. Wrist shot on. And that one popped over the blocker at Glenn. Lucky bounce. Utah does it again. This time Glenn will snag it with his gloved hand, and we'll get a face-off.
Replaying that last, right off his blocker and just over the backside of the net.
Yeah, looked to be that shoulder shrug from Glenn once he knew that puck hopped over his left shoulder. Might have been just enough to force the puck to the side of the cage. Utah wins the offensive zone draw. Backhand shot on. Glenn still with it. The second stop on the rebound attempt, and he'll freeze it. And we'll have a little extracurricular activities after the play, as Cooch and Varela got tangled up. And that referee behind the net was able to digest all of that, and we'll most likely see a penalty or two.
It's like
we're waiting to see. Right now it's just a goal scorer, Carson Cooch, the one in the box, as both referees are in deliberation.
Chase is standing there like he's almost either he's waiting for an explanation or he's maybe expecting to join him.
We're trying to bargain a call possibly against Utah, and there he is right now speaking to the referee, and it looks to be just a Arizona State minor penalty after all that.
11-10 remaining.
Utah on the power play.
That puts your Sun Devils on the penalty kill, powered by the
And it will. And now head coach Johnny Walker is trying to get it straight from the horse's mouth as he's talking directly to the referee. And normally in those altercations, especially after a whistle, most likely see both teams getting one. But in that case, referee felt that Cooch might have done a little too much after all that. And so the Sun Devils will have to be on the penalty kill. Utes will win it. Delaney walks the line for Utah. Waldhauser on the half wall. Cruise check. Back. The one-touch passing from the Utes. They have to settle the puck down. Just kept in by Waldhauser. Schwab. Not a Waldhauser. A lot of perimeter passing by the Utes. No shots yet. Waldhauser, he'll get that point shot through, and Glenn fought through some traffic. And that clearance from Luke Chase all the way down allows the Sun Devils to get some fresh penalty killers. Correa will skate in. Correa still with it. Correa snapshot on. Glenn doesn't know where it is. It's in the corner. Delaney back to Correa. Correa wrist shot on, and Glenn swallows up the rebound.
It's like a little bit of chirping going on.
Yep, I think both teams are getting familiarized with each other, and we're not even halfway through this first period yet.
So this is that first block. You look at all the traffic in front of Glenn, all the chaos going on. I'm impressed with that stop.
That's something that was tough on the Sun Devils in their last weekend series, as Arizona did a lot of and sent a lot of bodies to the front of the goaltender, Glenn, and it made it tough for Arizona State on the penalty kill. As that was a good kneeling block that time by Tonez, and that'll get a whistle.
47 seconds left on this penalty kill for the Sun Devils.
Ben Chase wins it to Tonez, but he'll end up taking a tumble. Kate Olsen just trying to pin that puck behind his own net. It finally gets dislodged by Slater. Utah at the point, wrist shot on, rebound in front. Kennedy was able to help Olsen clear it all the way down. Has 25 seconds left on a man advantage. Utah trying to catch Arizona State on a change, but they come in offside. And good call by the linesman, as when you're trying to go for a stretch pass play and go offside, if you're a little too overzealous, that can end up being a face-off in your own zone, which for Utah is the case, and that's a big benefit for Arizona State. Marchand takes the shot, and he'll smartly just play it back down the corner. Keeler will backhand that one innocently on the goaltender Fuller. If anything, just killing more of that penalty off. Cross-ice pass and blocked away by Glenn. Keeler has some time and space as the penalty has been killed by the Sun Devils.
Back at full strength.
Utah did have a couple of good opportunities, but Arizona State, great effort on the penalty kill. Butler stands on the shot, and he ends up losing his bearings, and Utah will skate it out. Aurelia trying to deke his way through. Glenn will clear it out himself, out of the neutral zone. Marchand, D2D with Chase. King will tip it in. Icing waved off by the linesman. Fuller comes out of his crease and will help that puck along the wall. Good play by Butler. He gets a turnover to King on the backhand shot, and that gets saved by Fuller. Sun Devils again aggressive on the forecheck, and it's paying off as Lenz elects to freeze it on the dump in. Oh, and we have a couple bodies coming together. It's Sykes and Gross, and the referee is letting Sykes know that was illegal what he just did. And now Arizona State will be on the man advantage. And we'll see if the best in the business, Dr. Ben Smith, can provide a replay there. Is that?
I don't think I got the impact. I did snap this one here.
Oh, that was
and
a
then
great
this
play, too.
opportunity.
Yes, not to be overshadowed. Butler on the
29,
forecheck,
Spencer Sykes,
creating a
2
good
minutes for
opportunity for his line mate
Sykes
King.
due for interference, time the penalty, 8:09
Yeah, looked to be just a
in
couple
the first
bodies coming
period.
together, and
Your Sun
I don't
Devils
think
are
Gross
on
was
the
ready
power
for that one, as the play was
powered by
definitely
the
over.
Huntsman Whitewater.
Wrist shot from Olsen gets blocked into the corner.
That one was just a little out of frame for me, so I missed it, but
Either way, the referee saw it, and that's what really matters, is that's an errant pass from Keeler, and that puck goes all the way down in the Arizona State end. Ty Marchand will drop it to Austin Cameron. Kate Olsen, hard rim around. Puck pops over Keeler. Olsen on this right side. And they'll work it all the way back around. Utah looking good on this penalty kill. Kept in by Marchand. Marchand delays, and he turns it over at the blue line. Ooh, and takes a rough ride as he's down on his knees and getting back to his feet. Utah electing to kill more time off the clock as they possess the puck. Stretch pass by Utah, intercepted by Marchand, but it's picked up by Utah. Trevor Krusik, tired at the end of his shift, will just dump it down and go for a change. Butler, now to Gross, 30 seconds left on the man advantage. Tonez, back around to the corner. King at the point. Marchand still out there. King will turn it over, but he keeps it in.
great stop. Oh, he must have just been past the line.
I think it was either that or possible hand passes. King did have to glove it down to keep that puck in.
Here's that play again. He was
There he goes.
right on the blue line.
Oh, yeah, he gloved it down and he threw the puck down to get it to his stick, but it hopped over his stick and got touched by Arizona State player, and that's why it got whistled down as a hand pass.
15 seconds left on this power play.
And Devils will possess it. The goal scorer, Cooch, in his first period, will dump it in. Anthony White collects it.
Utah's back to full strength.
And now Utah's killed off the penalty. They're back to full strength. Sun Devils still threatening in the offensive zone. Short angle shot misses the net. Allows Utah to chip it in. White directing traffic in front of him. Over to Ben Chase. Chase. Indirect pass to Kennedy. And it was a good breakout by Arizona State. Kennedy, hard man on the forward check. Descharm lays the body, kept in by Luke Chase. His shot from the point misses wide. Hunter Friesen trying to corral the puck. Descharm will put that one in front, and Utah will clear that rebound out.
I honestly thought he had that.
That puck's really starting to bounce here as we get towards the end of this first period. And Friesen collects a turnover, centers it out in front. Clear to the corner by Utah. Utah finally able to break it out. Good break in by them, but it was a better defensive play by Luke Chase, blocking the shot. Krells will chip it by the Utah defenseman, and he'll sit there in front of the net of the Utah netminder. As we're under 5 minutes to play in this first period, it's a 1-0 Sun Devil lead. By Marchand, good to see. He's still back out there. Beautiful play by Keeler. He's able to get it up to his stick. Keeler driving out in front. No Sun Devils in the high slot. Cruise check. We'll play that in on Glenn, and he'll elect to freeze it. And, ooh, a couple extracurriculars. The linesmen need to get in there fast, as seems to be every whistle both teams decide to interact with each other.
Well, here's the Sun Devils' opportunity last time.
As Keeler was able to drive hard to the net and just missed the stick of Austin Cameron in front. And Devils finish off a change as it's a new 5-man unit out. Utah will collect it though. Wrist shot on Glenn, doesn't know where it is.
Wow.
And it was caught up in his gear. As that point shot from Delaney had a lot of mustard on it.
You're watching this. Utah wins the faceoff. They get it back right at the top of the circle, and yeah, that rocket through traffic.
One by Utah. Another point shot on, hits a couple skates in front. Tonez can't clear it. It'll come to Ben Chase, and he'll do the rest. Dahlhauser trying to sneak behind the Arizona State defense. It'll work to get the puck in. As Kate Olson was able to block that shot, and Carson Coots still laying the body, as that was a tough check he laid on a Utah player. And King actually was trying to tip that puck in as a dump and ended up going into the Utah bench. And so with 3:25 remaining this first period, we'll have a face-off in the neutral zone.
Yeah, that last hit, I felt. It was right glass behind me.
That's where Dr. Ben Smith has his production set up right towards the neutral zone center ice line. And folks, I imagine too, if you're watching at home, you probably felt that as well. Utah doing good on the faceoff so far, and looks to be a holding call, and it looks to be against Arizona State.
Run that one again.
We see here as Utah was coming in, Johnson was trying to chip it by the defenseman Anthony White, and White got tangled up with him.
Yeah.
Sun
Unintentional,
Devils
but
penalty
you
number
gotta
8,
pay for him
Anthony
when you
White, 2 minutes for
penalize
holding. White took for
player.
holding, time of the penalty, 3:19 remaining in the first period. White took for holding at 3:19.
And
your Sun Devils are out
to
the
be
penalty
an
kill,
impediment
fueled by the husband and
on the
wife
ice,
team.
signaled by Nathaniel Glenn, and the referee will go ahead and pick that screw up. Utah will win the draw again. Waldhauser. Soft spot with Perret. Perret takes the shot through. Gives it to Delaney. Delaney, he'll get that shot through, and that's patted away by Glenn. Arizona State has not been able to clear the puck, though, on this power play. They'll set it up top.
Well, Arizona doing a good job closing the gaps, but Utah's doing a great job, especially when I get behind the net.
And that puck will go deflected and out of play.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, and trying to follow up what you're saying there, Ben, that if you're the Sun Devils, as long as you're in those shooting lanes, you probably don't mind what Utah is doing right now, keeping them on the perimeter and really just having to force some long-range slots on Glenn.
Yeah.
Utah still possessing that puck in the offensive zone. Waldhauser, the top of the key. Got a cruise check. Cruise check. Forces to pass the puck off. Under a minute left on the power play. And he shot, and he scores. As finally all that traffic in front of Glenn finally pays off for Utah, as he did not pick that puck up.
A replay on that give and go. They were able to finally find an open slot and pop it. Looked like it was just over Glenn's right shoulder.
Utah goal, powered by
Looks to be
goal,
about
scored
3
by
or
number
4 bodies in
21,
front
Matthew
of
Delaney.
the
Delaney
netminder,
assisted by
Glenn.
number 6,
Talking as a former
Gian
defenseman, it used
Corre.
to be the
And number
rule with the
11,
goaltenders is either
Trevor
you got to
Kushak.
block the shot or just get out of the way so the
2:13
goaltender can
remaining
see the shot
in the first
release.
period.
And that time, neither happened. As we're now under 2 to play, Wilson will slow it down. Soonagel was finishing his checkoff, so it was a delayed offside momentarily. That allows Arizona State to sit up behind their net. Gross. He'll elect to skate it in on the left side. Trying to get around the Utah defenseman, and we'll have a whistle. And looks to be the referee directing traffic to one of the players.
Oh.
As that was a weird one, as it looked to be just Gross was just trying to get around the Utah defenseman, and the defenseman for Utah did a good job of keeping him out. Trying to finish the check. Maybe they were just tangled up a little too long to the referee's liking, so we'll have 4-on-4 play after all that.
There was a little of that, like you said, the extracurricular after the whistle.
Coincidental minor penalties
Oh,
on
coincidental.
Utah. Number 18, Colton Johnson. 2 minutes for interference. On your Sun Devils, number 89, Matthew Gross, 2 minutes for roughing. Timeable penalties, 1:39 remaining in the first period.
So for the remainder of this first period, we will be 4-on-4. Delaney will chill behind his net, and now he'll skate it out. That was an errant pass, and then doesn't hit anybody, and goes all the way down for an icing.
It looked like a shot that you'd take if you thought you were on the
PK. Yeah, like a clearance. But smart heads-up play by Nathaniel Glenn of not touching that puck, letting it go all the way down to the goal line, allowing an offensive zone draw. Luke Chase keeps it in. Point shot goes wide. Butler. He'll absorb a check. Drops it to Marchand. Marchand pumps the leg. Marchand still with it. Wrist shot on. That's blocked. Wadhauser. He's just behind his net. Delaney. Up there. Corre. Under 60 seconds left in the first period. Corre around 1. Corre around 2. And he does all the hard work, but misses a shot. Marchand drives his man to the wall. Varela centering that in front. That's gloved by Glenn, and again, the linesmen are going to have to be pretty active tonight after these whistles, keeping these two teams off of each other.
They're still barking. Glenn holding strong, though.
Nothing was. That was a great opportunity by Corre. He's not the most physical of players, but he can somehow flip his way in and out. He had another chance earlier in this period where he was able to deke his way through a couple of Sun Devil players.
A lot of fun to watch for the Utah fans.
Draw won by the Sun Devils by Keeler. Tonez forces a turnover. Now he'll try to break it out of his zone again. He'll like to just dump it out this time. As we have about 20 seconds left in this first period. Cameron forcing Utah to go back in their own zone. Stretch pass from Garden. Ends up working out to Schwab. 3 seconds left. Garden shot on. That's blocked. And that'll do it for this first period.
The first period, Utah
Bit of a
1,
sluggish start,
your
like you
Sun
mentioned,
Devils
Ben, for
1.
both teams,
Shots on
but
goal of the period,
as
Utah,
the series
19
progressed
shots
through
on
and as the
net. Your Sun
physicality
Devils,
ramped
7
up,
shots on
so
net.
did the play on the ice.
Yeah, so now we'll have intermissions 15 minutes. Is that right?
Yes,
Sanity
so
check,
it'll
yeah.
be in just under 15 minutes. We'll bring you live second period action here from Tempe. The score after 1, Arizona State 1, Utah 1. This is Arizona State ACHA Hockey YouTube. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to ASU ACHA Hockey YouTube presentation of ACHA Division I Men's Ice Hockey. I'm Brett Vaughn alongside the one and only Dr. Ben Smith. And after our first 20 minutes of play, both teams ended up getting on the scoreboard, and we enter in the second period tied at 1.
The only thing that surprises me about the first period as that wrapped up was the shots on net. Used to Sun Devils being a little more aggressive. I mean, they're connecting on it. They've got 1 in 7, but I'm hoping to see in the second period some more shots.
And for Utah, too, they're able to operate on 2 power plays, and I think on those power plays, they really made their hay. A lot of point shots as they're trying to get through, and that is what led to their first goal of the game. We'll have some 4-on-4 play with just about 5 seconds left. As we had some coincidental minors to end that first period. And we're now back to 5-on-5 play.
Now, if you're Johnny Walker, do you talk to the players about calming down, staying out of the box, or do you keep the aggression?
I think the key word you want is controlled aggression, Ben. I think you definitely want to keep that edge, but you want to keep it between the whistles. And especially in a tight game like this, it seemed to be Utah. They were able to coax Arizona State to take a minor penalty. I think that might have been the penalty that led to their goal in the first period.
Yep. Yeah, they were able to capitalize on that.
And so I think that's really just it. They've done a great job on the forecheck and being physical. It's just a matter of staying disciplined, especially after the whistles.
Oh, that one,
End up going out of play. Luckily, the fans here at Mount America Community Iceplex were alert and awake. It's a cool night outside of the barn, and it's a cool night inside the barn as well.
It's Arizona cool.
But hey, when you brave the 110-degree summer, this 50, 60 degrees seems like a snow flurry.
I was talking to one of the students here. He said he came from Alabama.
Wow.
So he's planning on heading back to Alabama over the summer. Isn't looking forward to the humidity that they deal with out there.
Definitely that's the age-old question, Ben, as I know you grew up in the Minnesota area where they don't have, they have their fair share, so it's definitely either or during the summers.
No, those Stripes are talking to Walker.
Yeah, they did talk to the Utah bench and head coach Morgan Feeney just a bit ago, and that's why we've had this prolonged stoppage.
Gotten into the habit of calling them the Zebras, so pardon that.
Yeah, Zebras, Stripes. I think if you're a referee, you've probably heard it all at this point. Luke Chase goes D to D with Marchand, and he'll one-touch that pass up to Austin Cameron. But he'll lose control of it. Perret be able to get around Luke Chase. Perret trying to backdoor that pass, and Cameron on the back check intercepts it. Kept in by Utah. One-timer shot blocked. Puck will come to Matt Keeler. Now to Carter Newland. Newland waiting. Centers that one in front, and that's easily stopped by Fuller. Also, a story I saw developing in the first period is Arizona State in the circle. They did improve, I thought, last week against Arizona, but so far Utah has done a good job in the draw, and that's really been allowing them to get more of those shots, like you mentioned, and really grow that shot disparity, 19-8 in favor of Utah right now. Draw one clean by Gross, but it's immediately whistled down, and I think the linesman might have...
Not sure what they saw there.
Yeah, might have threw it down a little too prematurely. That time it's won by Shaw for Utah. Check will chop it out. Gross trying to help his defenseman out. Will come to King. And he'll just put it out to neutral ice. Utah comes back in with it. Azarela gets his shot blocks. And here comes the Sun Devils. Puck comes to Kate Olsen. Couldn't release the shot. King, short angle shot. It's away by Fuller.
It was kind of a weird bounce.
Yeah, puck's been bouncing end over end, and I think still a little wet after the Zamboni scrape, so it's been tough to carry the puck in.
Hitting puddles.
Here comes Kate Olsen. And he gets his stick lifted by Lorella. Wrist shot on, deflection in front. Oh, and a juicy rebound for King, and he had the puck hop over his stick. Senden will skate it in as Arizona State goes for a change, and his snapshot goes high. Point shot on. Glenn makes the stop. And Glenn will take that fan shot by Utah, and he'll glove it down.
The replay of that opportunity earlier. They center it. Oh no, they took the shot. I thought he was going to have an opportunity.
Yeah, definitely looked that way as King. I'm not sure if maybe he was even expecting that. That rebound came on him pretty quick. And it just hopped over his stick. So this guy gets some help from Anthony White. He'll dump it down. But he did a little too strongly as that faceoff will go back in his own end for an icing call. Dealer and the Sun Devils will need some help from his line mates to get the puck, and he does. So this guy comes out to the weak side of the ice. Chip off the glass. Utah, good job on the back check, allows him to come back in. Puck behind Sue Nagel. Will play it up to Lorella. And a little too hot of a pass for Delaney to handle, and he'll dump it in. White. Stretch pass to Cooch, but he couldn't collect it as that puck ends up hopping over his stick blade, and it'll be another ice. Almost a similar start to that first period. It's been a bit choppy for both teams. Sun Devils will win it. Ducharme kicks it over to Cooch. Cooch with some speed. He carries it in on this right side. Cooch still protecting the puck. They'll get ridden hard into the boards by Utah's Johnson. It's turned over, though, to Cooch. And as he's going to release the shot, Garden just lifted his stick. Cooch still working hard, trying to battle through. And Utah will finally clear it out. Slater almost got around Silver Sky. Marchand can't clear it. Puck will come to Marchand, and he'll flip it out. Kennedy eats a check. Now to Ben Chase. Backhand pass. Intercepted by Garden. And we'll have a whistle. Because now it's Utah's turn to have to face off in their own zone after an icing call. And it's also a tired group out there for Utah right now as the Sun Devils realize that, and they put out a new forward grouping.
Both teams do look a little slower. They've still got a lot of energy, but Slow it down a little bit.
Marchand will dump it in, but the Sun Devils have to touch up. Johnson into center ice line, and he was trying to make a pass, but then realized a couple of his teammates were going for a change. Stretch pass to King. Hits the brakes. Leaves it for Butler. Butler still with it. Short side shot, and that rebound from King launches up and out of play. And that last couple minutes or so, Sun Devils having a little bit of jump to their step, being the aggressor.
And here's that play again. Tries to stuff it in, hits the blocker.
And 5 minutes has elapsed in the second period. No scoring so far in the second stanza. Marchand ends up overskating the puck and he loses it. Utah coming in. Up at the point. That slapped up from Waldhauser, misses wide. It'll come back to him in the corner. Sendin trying to pinch and keep it in. And it'll work. At the point. Waldhauser snapshot on, and that was a great defensive play by Gross, getting his stick in the way. That was a very important block as there's a lot of time and space for Utah forward to release a dangerous shot on Glenn.
Anything they can do to keep that puck out of Glenn's crease, take.
Kate Olsen will slow it down. Trying to get that puck all the way up to Kennedy. Kennedy is unsuccessful. The Devils will work it out the other side. Fuller plays it behind his net. They'll grapefruit it over to Corey. Now up to Sendin. Sendin been harassed by Ben Chase on the back check. And Chase ended up taking a hard check as Waldhauser had a good scoring opportunity. He just couldn't get good wood on it. Sendin up to Perret. Perret still with it, trying to find a backdoor pass intercepted by the captain, Kate Olsen. Turned over at the blue line. Lorella. Now over to Gibney. Gibney's wrist shot on. This is high. Gibney gets it on the one-timer shot, saved by Glenn. Descharmes, soft chip. In for Ryan Kloss to attack on the floor check, and he lays a hit on Delaney. Friesen with it. Has backhand, waits, swaps spots with Sovasky, but the pass in his skates, and he'll have to dump it in the corner. Kloss will take a hard check from Delaney. Descharmes with a turnover out in front to Friesen. Friesen wrist shot on, blocked by Delaney. The late penalty call is Sovasky with a great wrist shot. Might have been saved by the knob of Fuller's stick, but either way it's kept out. And either way the Sun Devils, with a great shift, generates a power play.
See what I caught on that.
It was initially the shot by Friesen. That was blocked. And Sovasky had that second opportunity. That was saved by Fuller.
Utah minor penalty number 21. Matthew Delaney, 2 minutes for holding. Delaney 2 for holding.
Delaney
Time
gets
the penalty.
called for the hold.
Remaining in the second period.
And the Sun Devils will work on a second power play.
Powered by the husband and wife.
And they win that big key offensive zone draw to start off this power play. Newland trying to find the lane, kicks it to Marchand. Marchand wrist shot on. That's blocked by Johnson. And King does just enough to only have the puck go out into the neutral zone. Utah will swap out their forward penalty killers as Marchand skates the puck up. Not being pressured at all. He'll stop, wait for his teammates to get in their spots. King behind the net. Indirect pass. Newland couldn't get it, and Gross ends up getting taken down. Short-handed opportunity for Utah. Utah, they come in, and what a stop by Glenn as he kicks out the left leg. As Gavin Barr for Utah had an opportunity to take the lead for his team, and Glenn denied him.
How tall is Glenn? Who's got a stretch?
He is listed 6'5". Sun Devils come back into King as he was trying to find Gross backdoor, but Gross wasn't ready for the pass. Definitely one of the taller Arizona State netminders in my tenure broadcasting, coming in at 6'5", and he had to use all that frame there.
Yeah.
Second power play unit out for the Sun Devils. Anthony White dropped it for Friesen, and Sun Devils forced to collect it back in the neutral zone. As we play under 11 left in the second period. Ooh, and a tough hit by the linesman as he ends up getting the worst of that dumping by Cameron, but play continues. Cameron in the corner with Friesen. White plays it back to Cameron. Cameron, button hooks up. Utah kills the penalty off. Taylor centers that one in front. That's blocked by Sendin. And Utah probably getting the better chance of that power play as they were the short-handed team. Stretch pass. Coming in with it.
Oh.
And they score. Trevor Kruzchek. As both teams have been trying to look for that stretch play, and Utah is the one that takes advantage. And they take a one-goal advantage, 2-1.
There's that replay. Utah takes advantage of the breakaway.
And Kruzchek was able to split the D
Utah goals
and catch the Sun Devils snapping.
Kruzchek assisted by number 3, Karsten Sundin.
And Sun Devils were playing with fire as Glenn had to make an unbelievable stop first on Gavin Barr. And then just only a couple minutes later had to face another breakaway. Carson Cooch coming in as he was looking for Kennedy on the back post as he wasn't there. Varela unable to connect with Waldhauser. Luke Chase plays it quickly around the other side to Martian. Cooch in on the forecheck. Lays a check, but is unable to have his line mates with him. But they do force an icing call, however. And this group for Utah was stuck out. Fresh group for the Sun Devils trying to take advantage of a tired group for Utah. Varela helps out his centerman, and Waldhauser will chip it out and clear it out. Olsen, headman pass to King. He'll get it to Butler. Butler trying to get around the defenseman Delaney, but Delaney doing a great job of poking that puck away. Utah in on the offense. Butler gives his man the cold shoulder to the boards. Johnson plays it back down. Centering pass kept in. But does a good block by Jay King. And the puck goes all the way in Utah zone. Denema was trying to get that puck up to Slater, but he overskates it. Puck bouncing all over the place, forces Utah to take it back in their own zone. And that ends up being an icing call as the Utah forward was unable to touch that puck as it crossed the center ice line.
Worried me for a second when I saw it so close to Glenn's pads.
Yeah, luckily he got the benefit of the doubt there, because if not, that was a puck just sitting right in front of his crease.
Yeah.
Keeler trying to direct Newland of where he wants him on this draw. Anthony White's wrist shot on, and Fuller had to be ready for it. That was a quick release from the Arizona State freshman defender. Keeler trying to fight through a couple of Utah players to get that puck, and Kraft for Utah as he was trying to chip it out, ends up chipping it into Arizona State's bench, and the faceoff will stay in Utah's zone. Utah hard room around, so this guy keeps it in. Friesen will dump it back in. Puck ends up hitting the skate of the referee. It'll come out to the other side. Oh, and a dangerous opportunity.
Wow.
That was turned over by the defenseman Garden, straight to his goalie. Sun Devils, when they've been able to get the forecheck, they have been generating some offense off of it. And this line's doing a good job of it with Nealon, Friesen, and Keeler. So this guy trying to do his best to keep it in. And Glenn will have to settle it down behind his net. White. Up to Descharm. Descharm will fork it in. With his glove down by Sendin. And he'll throw it back down the other side. White chopping away at it. It'll work to Kloss, but he can't clear it. A couple of players are tangled up behind the play. No whistle though. As now it's finally touched. I'm trying to see exactly what it was, if it was just an offsides call possibly. I don't see anybody going to the box.
Yeah, I don't either. I didn't see any arms up. Yeah, it must have just been offsides.
A little bit of a peculiar call, but either way, play continues. As Sendin's shot gets redirected from center ice and out of play. With 6:54 in the second period.
That one get picked out by Glenn?
I am not sure. It definitely could have. Gross ends up playing with a high stick as Deschamps was coming in on the attack. And it ends up getting whistled down because of it.
Sun Devils doing a lot better this second period, maintaining composure.
Yeah,
Utah definitely, I can still see them trying to egg on the Sun Devils.
Yeah, really good observation by you, partner, as Sun Devils play better when they're just play hard in between the whistles. And the Sun Devils are trying to make a late change with a forward grouping, but the referees will force them to go back and not allow them that change. Face will play it around Marchant. Cameron unable to get it to his line mate Keeler. Utah comes back in with it. Now at the point. Rashad on from Delaney gets blocked. Utah doing all they can on this offensive possession. Keeping the Sun Devils hemmed in. Centered on the back door, and that does not connect. Around in the corner, Luke Chase doing all he can, and maybe a little too much than he can as he gets whistled down and looks to be called for a penalty. And credit to Utah there. That was just all effort by them in the offensive zone, keeping the Sun Devils hemmed in, tired, and defending, and eventually leading to a penalty. So as we saw in the first period, as they got one of their goals, their power play, they really like to work it up top with a group of three and try to take advantage of traffic in front of Glenn.
Time of the penalty. 5:48 remaining.
And I expect that to be the same sort of recipe here on this power play for them.
Powered by the husband and wife law team.
Sun Devils can't win the face-off. Blocking the point is Delaney. Now Correa. Correa, the one-timer shot, and that gets through as that was partially blocked by Tonez. But Glenn with good positioning, not allowing a rebound.
Glenn, great positioning, not the best visual there. He had a lot of traffic in front of him.
Yeah, as you see, there's a Utah player on this power play, number 12, Schwab, parked right out in front.
Yep.
Sun Devils on a short-handed opportunity, though. Kennedy works his way behind the net, stop. And he has that puck sealed up against the kick plate, forcing Utah to try to dig it out of his feet.
Clock keeps ticking, so he'll just hold it.
Ben Chase in there as well, as they've killed off almost 20 seconds down, and now Correa will skate it out. And on the attack, Ben Chase, great job on the back check, just lodging the puck away, and he can go for a change. Waldhauser gets around one Sun Devil. Now to Correa. Back over to Kruchek. And they slow it down in the offensive zone. Waldhauser gets his shot through, or it could have been partially blocked, out into the boards. Cross-seam pass. Good defensive play by Ryan Kloss to lift his man stick. And Sun Devils can get it clear and get a change if they can hurry. As Utah was trying to finish off a change, and the forward that was changing did not cross the blue line. And so that recognized him as still offsides as Utah was trying to enter back in. And a good break for the Sun Devils there, as with the second period, it's a long change. And so it's harder to change all 4 or 5 players on the line.
Yeah.
And they got fortunate. 29 seconds left on the power play for Utah, as Marchant will just dump that puck down to kill off some more time. Orella is getting his wires crossed with his forward, and Marchant will slap it down as we are under 4 minutes left in this second period. Morella skates it in. Luce steps out of the box. Marchand trying to shepherd that out himself, but it's unsuccessful. And Sovasky has to go back and get the puck. Newland ladles it to Gross with speed. Gross with speed centers that one in front to Butler, but just out of the reach of his line mate. Newland still with the puck bobbling. Trying to drop it behind him, but taken away by Sykes. Game's starting to open up a bit. Sykes turns it over on the drop pass. Gross handles the puck, trying to find Butler streaking behind Johnson. He can't. A shot from the point, taken away by Tonez. Tonez drives through the middle, kicks it out to Butler. Newland will get shown to the boards, and puck will come out to center ice. Keeler still with it, takes it himself, and puck will come to Fuller. He'll get a whistle. And again, we'll have a meeting in front of the netminder of Utah.
Keeping those linemen on their toes.
Absolutely, definitely getting a good upper body workout though through the linesmen. Trying to push away both players. And an animated Johnny Walker trying to reason with one of the referees, as I think he's maybe trying to take exception to all of this extracurricular activity after the whistles, but to no avail. Got one by the Sun Devils, but the puck comes off of King's stick. Allows Utah to break it out. Glenn really coming out of his net, plays it behind his net. Can't clear it. Oh, and I'm not sure it was either a CNI shot or maybe a deflection, but what was it? Innocent point shot from Sendin. Ends up going past the goaltender, Glenn.
Well, let's watch that. That almost looked too easy for Utah.
The Sendin comes out, peels it off, and yeah, looks to be a stick that was Waldhauser in front, and he looks to be the one that got a tip on it. And getting that one past Glenn.
Utah goal scored by number 15, Paul Waldhauser. Waldhauser assisted by number 3, Karsten Sandin.
Confirmation from 6, the scorekeeper here in Tempe that Waldhauser did get a tip on it. And near the end of the second period, the Utes pushed the lead to 2. Cooch. Cross ice dump. Hard rim around, gets cleared by Sendin, but it goes all the way down, and it goes for an icing. Unfortunate for the Sun Devils as they're really starting to get some momentum and getting their footing here in the second period before Utah got that goal. Utah will skate it out. Sendin pumps the legs, and he forces Len to have to redirect that one with the stick and out of play. Face-off circle, and it gets picked up by Cooch. Cooch skating, gets around the Utah defender, but as he does, ends up committing a penalty doing so as Lorella was able to sell that call enough, and that allows Utah to go back from the power play.
Watch it again. Yeah, he sold that. And the Grammy goes, or no, not Emmy, right? No.
Well, it is an Oscar season.
Oscar, yeah, there we go.
So that definitely could be a nominee, but credit to Lorella of forcing the referee to make a call.
Carson Cooch, 2 minutes for roughing. Cooch 2 for roughing, time the penalty.
So the Sun Devils, for the remainder of this second period, will be on the penalty kill. Wrist shot on, saved by Glenn. That'll get cleared down. That's Ben Chase. Good job on the forecheck. Killing some much needed time off the clock on this penalty kill.
1 minute remaining in the second period.
Cruise check. Now to Waldhauser. He'll play it back. Over to Perret. Under 50 seconds left in the period. Utah playing with the puck behind the net. And that looked to be another tough call going against Arizona State, as Luke Chase will now be going to the box.
Watching the replay here.
It ends up being a boarding call,
Right there.
as it was tough to tell from that angle exactly of when Perret turned his back.
Sun Devils minor penalty.
As I feel
Number
that
20, Luke Chase,
when Chase
2 minutes
committed
for
to
boarding.
checking
Chase
the
2 for
Utah
boarding,
forward,
time the
Perret was
penalty,
still
42 seconds remaining
more
in the second
perpendicular to the
period.
board with his shoulders rather than showing the numbers. But if you're Utah, what a golden opportunity to get another goal before the end of this period, as they now have a two-man advantage.
Well, the Sun Devils fans aren't happy with that call.
Utah wins the draw. Perret lays it back down. Centered out in front, and Glenn with that, showing some athleticism. He was down in the butterfly stance, and he pops up straight up to grab that puck out of midair. As you saw a beautiful angle of it from the production extraordinaire, Dr. Ben Smith.
Yeah, that crouch from the butterfly to the stand, not something you could catch me doing.
Yeah,
Or
I'm
even
not sure if my hips have that flexibility these days anymore either. Utah wins the draw, and they can still operate in the offensive zone. 15 seconds left in the period. Cruise check. Over to Perret. Waldhauser. Swap spots. Waldhauser still with it to Perret. Snaps it on and they score. Looked to be Perret is the one that got it, as might have taken an unfortunate deflection by the goaltender Glenn. Either way, Utah takes it, making this a 4-1 lead.
Look, it's one of our Sun Devils out of the box.
As there it was, and no, it looked to be just a straight shot, as Glenn was really guarding
Utah
that
goal,
near
covered by
post,
goal scored by number 6,
and Perret
Sean
ends up picking the right side.
Perret assisted by number 15, Paul Waldhauser, and number 12, Brady Schwab.
And that'll do it for the second period. 1-1 coming into this one, and it was a tough one for the Sun Devils, especially near the end, as they ended up giving up 3 goals in the second period. Because it looked like the Sun Devils, just before they gave up that second goal, felt like they were maybe building something.
Yep, let's see what the Sun Devils can do after the next intermission. We'll be back in about 15.
And just under 15 minutes, we'll bring you live third period action with the score after 2. Utah 4, Arizona State 1. This is Arizona State ACHA Hockey 2.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to ASU ACHA Hockey YouTube's presentation of ACHA Division I Men's Ice Hockey. I'm Brett Vaughn alongside the Dr. Ben Smith. As the Sun Devils, with a bit of a changeup coming out of the locker room in the second intermission, coming into the third, as we have a change in net. It'll be the senior, number 29, Hayden Manning, coming in between the pipes as a possible wake-up call sent from head coach Johnny Walker to his team, with that goalie change happening with 1 period left in the game.
20 minutes left. 33 shots on net. Utah's up by 3.
Well, as on the power play for a minute and change to start this third period.
Actually, forgot about that.
Margrim around by the captain. Olsen gets it out. Delaney behind his net waits as Johnny Walker trying to push whatever buttons he can to get his Sun Devil group back into this game. Hooray. Unable to get that puck through. He'll wind it up again and he'll take it in. Hooray sidesteps around the defender for the Sun Devils and centers it out in front, but Schwab couldn't get there.
Manning's got a souvenir.
Yeah, that's a stick behind the net. His Sun Devils are still operating. Point shot on, misses high. Manning has, I think that one went off the post. Kept out. Cruise check shot gets deflected up and out of play. And after all that, the Sun Devils kill that penalty off.
Utah adding 2 more shots to their tally. With all of this.
Yeah, that ricochet is, we couldn't really see from that far away whether it did hit that post or not, but it kept out. Let's see if the Sun Devils can take advantage of that kill. Newland's pass gets intercepted by Sunagel. Utah comes in onside. The shot on, and Manning has to be there at the ready as Kraft was barreling in for that rebound. And Marchand and Barr got tangled up. Barr was, again, trying to catch Marchand napping and get a call, but he's not going to be successful.
Extracurriculars staying strong.
Well, it definitely is. Both of these teams are reputable colleges, Ben, so extracurricular activities sometimes get you extra credit.
As long as it keeps them out of the box.
Yeah. That puck goes in the Arizona State bench, and faceoff will still be in Arizona State zone. And Manning being called into action early in this third period, having to make a handful of stops. Stuff for a goaltender coming cold, but maybe it helps Manning that it happened during the intermission as he was able to warm up a little bit in the locker room. Sunagel gets ridden into the boards by Marchand on the half wall. He's trying to find it. It'll come to Johnson. Johnson's wrist shot on, blocked by the hand of Gross. And he'll play it up to Cameron, but it was a little too hot of a pass, and that'll go for an icing call. Not really sure what Cameron was thinking there, as that's a very low percentage pass, and with the Sun Devils tired already after defending their own zone, they're stuck out there still.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a stretch. I guess maybe he was thinking, take the chance, get the break.
Yeah, possibly down 3, although with a full period left, that's not a insurmountable lead at all for Utah, as
No.
it's only 3 goals. And that puck will go into the Utah bench, and that's why it's whistled down. Utah coming into tonight with a 10-8-1 record, but 12th in the nation.
Wow.
So again, definitely a step up, as we've seen Utah, once they've gotten to the Division I level of the ACHA a few years ago, starting to ramp up their program. And this year, probably their most successful year so far, and really trying to be a viable foe when it comes to the national tournament, as we have a play whistle down and looks to be a call against Utah.
Sun Devils on the power play.
Definitely much needed to get back into this one, as that'll be Sandberg, the defenseman, heading to the box as he impeded, looked to be Ryan Quast
Back there.
behind the net.
Utah
and an easy
minor
call for the
penalty,
referee.
number 34, Gustav Sandberg.
Matthew Gross out for the Sun
2
Devils
minutes
in the
for
circle.
holding.
He'll win it.
Sandberg
King
for holding.
ends up losing
Time
his
to
balance,
penalty,
and that
17
allows
cents remaining in the
Utah's
third period.
defenseman Delaney
Your
to
Sun
clear it
Devils
all the
are
way
on the
down.
power play, powered by the husband and wife law team.
Marchand drops it back to Gross. King having some trouble trying to get it in, and play will be whistled down for an offside.
A little bit of ping pong happening there.
Yeah, that puck, even for how cold it is not settling down at all for either team.
Now, what I am noticing is that the players seem to be a little more sure-footed than when the game first started.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe been able to really dig into the ice as the game ended up getting underway a little earlier than expected tonight. So that helps when there's one less group carving up the ice beforehand. Marchand with that cross-ice pass is unable to get it on the tape of King. And that allows Utah to come all the way down and go for a change with their penalty killers. As we have passed 60 seconds on the man advantage for the Sun Devils, and again cleared by Utah. And credit Utah tonight, they have been able to limit Arizona State's speed, especially entering in that offensive zone and making the Sun Devils work for every chance they get. Cameron trying to skate it in. That's poked away by Schwab, and that'll be cleared down again. White will step out with it, and that'll get chipped in by Friesen. Netminder Fuller helps it along and springs a one-on-one chance. Nicholas Schwab. Schwab still with his Schwab. The wrist shot on as he loses balance. Stopped by Manning. Good short-handed chance for Utah. As Sandberg will come out of the box, and we're back
in full strength.
to even strength play. Out in front to Cameron, and he was unable to get a good shot off, and he misses the net.
Great penalty kill by Utah.
Now that gets gloved down by Fuller, and I couldn't say it any better myself. Doctor, as Fuller making that stop, and Utah, one, getting the better chance during that power play shorthanded, but two, really sucking momentum out of Arizona State. Marchand wrist shot on deflection. Dangerously goes wide. Floss trying to center that in front. As it gets kept in by Cross. Whip around shot from Cross goes blocked. Cross. Chips and charges in. Givney trying to work it out the other side. It gets hemmed in. Utah will play it back around. Slater has some time and space. Keeps it back in his own zone as he gets harassed by Descharnes. Poor pass by Utah. We'll go for an icing call. Let's see if the Sun Devils can take advantage as they swap out their group of 5 for a fresh group right off the bench. Sun Devils trying to get some sort of good rhythm, good juju going, as you can tell they haven't really had that energy that we are accustomed to seeing. First shot from Kennedy gets paddled away by Fuller.
It's been a fast-paced, very physical game, and I think that's starting to take a toll.
Yeah, definitely, possibly energy-wise.
Oh.
That could be the case. Kennedy fans on the shot, and he'll have to retrieve it back in the neutral zone. Anthony White, that gets poked away from his possession. Utah with the high chip off the glass.
They have to bounce out.
2-on-1 to Givney. Givney driving hard.
Oh.
And they score. Waldhauser cleans up the rebound. And Utah extends the lead to 4. As looked to be Manning faced the initial shot. Thought he had it between his legs, but the puck was still out in front of his crease, and that allowed Waldhauser to come through.
Goal scored by number 15, Paul Waldhauser. Waldhauser assisted by number 6, Gian Correa, and number 3, Karsten Senden. Time to goal, 13:21 remaining.
It's adding another insurance marker, padding their lead to 4. Fuller. Wait, they'll play it up. Gross back in his own zone. Stop. Chip off the glass. Icing waved off as Sandberg drops behind his net, but he eats a check and turns it over. Hooray. Takes a check from Newland. It's come back in, taken away by Newland. Gross trying to get there, but Sandberg with that long reach pokes it away. Send him. Dropped it. For Schwab, he takes a hard check in the corner. But he'll get it back. Hooray. Eats a check, plays it up to Senden. Senden's wrist shot on, deflected wide. Utah find the pressure here on the shift, but luckily for Arizona State, they went for a change and allows a free breakout. Keeler over to Friesen, and Friesen trying to work it that way to the front, but gets covered up by Fuller before he's able to pass it out.
I mentioned this earlier, but it's, you know, the physicalities, the chaos has settled. I don't see the Sun Devils making the same, I don't know, hot-headed mistakes. It's late. My vocabulary is shrinking.
Yeah, or just the energy, I think.
Yeah.
Not really finishing their checks like they were in the last couple of periods.
But the checks they are finishing, they're doing them clean. They're not taking penalties for them.
Utah comes back in. Delaney, and gets that taken away. Cross, unable to keep possession of it and skated in. Now Utah comes back, and Manning will freeze it as he plays the rebound behind the net. And there you go with the linesman. And one of the concerns with this now being a 4-goal lead is the referees want to make sure both teams mind their P's and Q's, but also for Arizona State again, it's easy when you're down 4 to say, hey, let's just punt on this game and try to settle it off the scoreboard. But it's important for them. Every goal matters. Goal differential matters. When you look at the national rankings picture, if the Sun Devils want to try and make a run at the national tournament. Got one by Utah. Through check. A one-timer shot. Popped over Manning. Morello. The shot gets blocked. Anthony White. Over to Schwab. One-timer from Lorella goes high. Johnson. Now to Schwab. Utah still applying the pressure, and Manning finally gets whistled down, but he gets bowled over.
Plowed down.
And we'll see what, if any, penalties are called after that. Doesn't look to be right now. And both referees communicating to each other that if one or the other saw anything, but they both shook their head no in unison. And also give credit to Utah as well. You can rest on your laurels with a 4-goal lead and put your feet up, but with 10 minutes left, there's still time in this game for Arizona State, and they're still moving their feet and trying to win races to those loose pucks.
Yeah, Utah is not backing down. They're not letting off.
Sharm and Cross get the puck in the zone. Good work on the forecheck, allows them to possess the puck. Cross, triangle shot on, and Fuller will make the stop, but will allow the play to continue. Brady Schwab plays it in on the netminder Manning. Olsen, stretch pass to Quast, and he'll dump it in, and he'll go for a change with under halfway of the third period remaining. It's a 5-1 Utah lead. Tendon. Nice give and go play with Syke, but he's unable to get the puck towards the net. Marchand pops it over to Chase. His brother Ben in the corner. Utah still being aggressive on their forecheck, sending 2 guys towards the puck. And that really does not allow any time and space for the Sun Devils to breathe and get a good clean breakout. Sandberg. They'll skate it in. Manning tries to slow the puck down. It'll come to the corner. And Ben will help out his brother Luke and break it out.
We talked about how Utah isn't really letting up, and after we said that, I feel like they're letting up just a little bit.
Yeah, possibly as the game gets deeper and deeper, and probably too some messages from the head coach Morgan Feeney on playing a little more conservative with this big lead.
I know in some of the leagues, fair play points mean something. Is that something within ACHA?
Yeah, definitely. For us, it's just a goal differential here at this level, where it's important as Friesen comes in with the backhand shot saved by Fuller. And that's something that still matters in the ranking points in terms of how much you lose by in a game. And so it's definitely important to still play to the final whistle. Icing waved off as Silva Sky touched it. White gives it up to Correa. Correa spins out. Great skating ability by Correa. Really impressed by him. Again, not the tallest player, but he's able to get around bigger physical players and eat checks as that point shot from Garden gets swallowed by Manning.
Utah up to 44 shots on net.
Yeah, really impressive and definitely one of the higher shot totals we've seen against Arizona State, especially at home this season. Tonez will flip it out. Will come out to Floss momentarily, but Utah allows to possess the puck and collect it. Will come to Cross. Cross with some speed. Wrist shot on. Fuller is able to snag it out of midair. Interesting in my drive in to the rink today was able to hear a professional athlete from another sport, Kirk Cousins from football, talk about how NFL players like to see games, especially when they have a bad half of a game and transition and try to take something positive into the next game. And he was saying that really that's all you want to do is play to the score of the period of the situation you're in this case for Arizona State. Try to at least maybe not win this game, but win this period. Try to build some momentum that you can take into your next game. And that's going to be important for the Sun Devils to recognize that and still play hard.
And I'm not seeing the Sun Devils back down at all. And as I say that, good hit the corner.
Yeah, by the captain, Kate Olson. That's definitely why he wears that letter on his chest of being able to still pull his teammates into the fight. Chase eats a check from Schwab. Keeler trying to peel that puck off the boards. He finally can. It's stumped in. Friesen. He's not letting up the effort on his horse, trying to create the turnover. Chase. Unable to get it through. Puck still stuck in the neutral zone. As we are now under 6 minutes left in this third period. Marchand takes a hard check, but the play will continue. Friesen, wrist shot on. That gets blocked. Utah with Brady Schwab will dump it down. Marchand, nice play to evade the forechecker. Will come to Owen Cross. Fuller leaves the dump in for his teammate. And Utah beautifully breaks the puck out. Snapshot on from Dinema. And Manning looks sharp there.
It's a replay from that earlier opportunity and that physicality.
Credit to Marchand. That's the definition of taking a hit to make a play. He took the hit, but that allowed a 2-on-1 for Cameron and Friesen. And Friesen unable to get that puck through. Silva wheels it around, tipped in by Descharmes into the Utah zone. Silva collects it, and Floss will play it in on the netminder, Fuller. Puck Kareem's up in the air. It's gloved down by Utah. And Spencer Sykes. Sykes waiting. Leaves it for Slater. Slater trying to give it back to Sykes. Wrist shot on. Manning has to make two stops there, as initially the shot, the wrister from the defenseman Garden, and then corral the rebound. Always amazes me how fast this season goes each and every year. And for the Sun Devils, this is their second to last home weekend. And there are a fair share of seniors on the roster, and they're trying to soak in as much as they can playing here on campus of Arizona State.
Tomorrow's game a little earlier.
Will be, yes, just about an hour earlier. But it'll be the same place here in Tempe and here on Arizona State ACHA Hockey YouTube.
Actually, is it 8:15 or 7:15?
We'll have to go into the to the Rolodex and check that. As we're now under 4 to play, Sun Devils trying to gain some momentum. At very least try to get 1 goal back.
We'll sanity check that start time. Tonight's game start time.
Yeah, so it is 7:15. You're correct, Doctor. That's why you have all those degrees, and so it'll be 2 hours earlier than the start tonight. So that should hopefully help some people stay up and stick around if you may be in another time zone. And the Sun Devils get 1 back. Ryan Floss with a beautiful wrist shot gets by Fuller. And you can see the excitement as Floss joins Carson Cooch as getting his first goal of the season in this game. They're now making this a 5-2 game. And so now if that goal makes things a little interesting now. As with 3 minutes left, might not be in the Sun Devils' favor to come back in this game, but it definitely makes more of a possibility. Kate Olsen in hard on the forecheck, playing as a center now. As Kraft gets around a couple Sun Devil players and he gets taken down, no call, and Barr came in, burling in, and then he committed a penalty. And that gets touched up by Utah. And Luke Chase taking an exception to that, protecting Marchand, his defensive partner. And now Olsen gets in the middle of it. And now the linesmen have to keep busy. And looks to be a couple players boiling over with some animosity with each other. And hopefully for Arizona State's sake, that stays only a Utah penalty as they can get a power play.
Let's watch and see what happens.
And we'll see what happens. Right now, it's 2 Utah players in the box.
I think they're probably pulling 1 for the earlier penalty. I'll run that. Right here. And then maybe the second one for that extracurricular.
Yeah, after the whistle, possibly. Yeah, it might be 2 for Utah, 1 for maybe Arizona State.
Now I see Chase standing next to the zebras over there.
And now we see Luke Chase actually departing the ice, so his night might be over. And his brother Ben's waiting to get an explanation from the referee.
So it looks like maybe a 4-on-3.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting one if that ends up being the case. the very rare and vaunted 4-on-3.
I was doing a live stream earlier today for a different team, and there was sequential penalties that resulted in 2 open nets.
Wow.
First time I'd seen it.
We'll see that happens here, and assistant coach Keith Carney for the Sun Devils is talking directly to the referee. And so we'll see after all of that, we have only a Utah penalty on the scoreboard.
2:47 on the clock.
As the scorekeeper is still using his arithmetic and trying to keep track of all these penalties.
On Utah, number 20, Tyler Sunigal, 2 minutes for roughing. Number 24, Gavin Barr, 2 minutes
So it looks
for
to be
tripping.
after all that.
On the Sun Devils, number 4, Kate Olson, 2 minutes for roughing. And number 20, Luke Chase, 10-minute misconduct.
So we have Luke Chase with the misconduct, 2-minute roughing to Olson for Arizona State side, and then for Utah, it's a roughing call, and then also that initial call on the hit on Marchand, and after all that, it's going to be an Arizona State power play. Utah will pick it up, but they'll turn it over to White. Point shot on, hits a couple bodies, and cleared away by the Utes. Manning forced the play back around. I'll get settled down. Now show this guy. Looks to be the Sun Devil coaching staff giving some opportunities to guys that might not normally be on the power play. Quast rims it around. Picked up by Cross, and he was trying to fight his way through the middle, but his stick got lifted. Throw this guy to Descharm. Back to White. But Utah doing a good job keeping the Sun Devils out of their own zone.
The Devils are having a hard time keeping that forward momentum long enough to get into the zone.
There's that, not to mention, too, this ice really chewed up near the end of the period, so it makes it even harder to try and skate the puck in. Friesen with it. He'll get stopped at the blue line. That gets worked to White. His wrist shot misses high. Kept him by Keeler, but he takes a hard check in doing so, and it's whistled down. And it looks to be maybe a roughing call. And now 30 seconds left. Arizona State has a 5-on-3 power play now. And head coach Johnny Walker sees this as maybe their last opportunity of the game to try and cut into this lead, and he'll call a timeout. With 1 minute and 16 seconds remaining in the game.
Utah minor penalty, number 17, Nicholas Schwab, 2 minutes for roughing. Time the penalty, 1:17 remaining in the third period. Timeout, ASU.
So, Sun Devils, again, trying to finish on a high note, trying to get some sort of momentum into tomorrow's night's contest, which, again, you can watch here on Arizona State ACHA Hockey YouTube at 7:15. You also look to see, too, I caught head coach Johnny Walker communicating to Manning that he also wants the goalie pulled. Oh, pardon me, it looks like the coaching staff's having a bit of a laugh in their miscommunication, and they want Manning back in his net. Again, that might possibly be, too, part of the reason is, again, that goal differential that factors in to the national rankings. Utah ends up clearing it, ended up ricocheting off of Arizona State stick and tumbled almost grazing the ceiling here at Mountain America Community Iceplex, but play continues.
Pretty high ceiling.
Yeah, it's definitely not like Oceanside back in the day.
No.
50 seconds left. Marchand lays it down to
Utah returns
Cross.
back to the ice.
Cross
5
to
on 4.
Marchand. Utah welcome the player back. Oh, big save by Fuller, keeping that one out. Utah got a player back, so now 5-on-4 man advantage for Arizona State. Marchand has that pass in his skates. It's turned over, and the goalie was pulled during that instance. Oh, and missing that shot wide with Schwab. Good hustle by White, putting that shot off. 20 seconds left. Cross. Marchand. Wrist shot on. That gets deflected by the stick of Johnson and out of play. And Olsen will come out of the box as well after serving his 2 minutes. And Sun Devils are making a quick change as they put Manning back in the net now. And they elect to not have the extra attacker. Pass too hot to handle for Descharme. A couple of seconds left. And that'll do it.
Your final score,
A back and forth game initially to start out with, but Utah ends up pulling out the victory, getting their 11th win of the season here in the first game of 2 against the Sun Devils.
We take the ice at 6:45. Puck drop at 7:15. We hope to see you back here tomorrow night. Please ride home safely.
As we see both teams, again, not having to shake hands as they normally do that at the end of their 2-game series. And we go ahead and get things settled here at Mountain America Community Iceplex. Hello, everyone. I'm Brett Vaughn on the game tonight with my partner, Dr. Ben Smith. And the Sun Devils had a decent start to the game. Both teams were kind of sluggish to start out, but the Sun Devils gave up initially the first goal, but they answered it right back and had some good momentum. But that second period is where they came a bit off the rails, but the Sun Devils conceding those goals. In that third period, they ended up leaving, I think, with something to hang their hat on to bring in to tomorrow night's contest. My player of the game tonight was 2 players, Ryan Quast and Carson Cooch, both upperclassmen, both heart and soul guys on this Arizona State team, getting their first goals of the year. And it's definitely a great accolade for them to have, being able to go ahead and get their first notch of the year. Our next broadcast will be at 7:15 tomorrow night against these same very Utah Utes here on Arizona State ACHA Hockey YouTube. Before we go tonight, we want to say thank you to a very special group of people that helped make this broadcast possible. Our network engineer tonight was Elena Vaughn. Our production coordinator was Francisco Cooper. And our broadcast supervisor was Ty Bolden. And, of course, the one and only Dr. Ben Smith with his production extraordinaire prowess. Thank you. The one final time tonight here from Mountain America Community Iceplex. The Utah Utes win by the score of 5-2 against the Arizona State Sun Devils. Thank you so much for tuning in, and so long from Tempe, Arizona. Good night.